What is up? You guys are thirsty, dude. You're thirsty right now. How's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me pause that for a second. Okay. It's gonna be a good stream. It's gonna be a good stream. I'm seeing that the transparency for the chat's kind of bugged. That's fine. I'll fix it later. But I have made some changes to the stream, so hopefully you guys will appreciate that as we carry on here. But let's get right into it. We've got some people in Texas waiting to get my thoughts on the layout, so I'm not going to waste anybody's time here. We're going to go straight into it, and then we will go into the predictions after that. Okay, awesome. Sweet. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Hope you guys like the Doom music. Andre, welcome, welcome. I'm a thirsty girl. Yeah, this layout. You guys, whoever's in my Discord server can attest to this. This is a crazy, 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 crazy layout. What a cool layout. I think this is a layout we've needed for a long time in paintball. And there's obviously a lot to be said about it. So I've only looked at this perspective. I haven't seen anything else. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts as they come. I don't have anything pre-prepared here. So you guys are going to be learning with me. But there is something very interesting to note about this layout right off the bat, which Bobby Tay from the Discord server, he might even be in this chat, Jordan, and I talked about. Made this layout, Yoda did. All my exes live in Texas. Absolutely. So the thing you guys will notice right away is that the snake side will always be shooting with their right hand, and the Dorito side will always be shooting with their left hand. So I hope you Dorito players practiced your left hand, because that's a thing, which I think is really, really, really cool. I think that's really cool. And thank you, Jordan, for pointing that out to me. Some of you guys are like, well, duh, but like, I don't know. I think that's crazy. I think that's pretty cool. The other thing that you immediately notice right off the bat is that these two snake ones, depending on how, we'll check it in a second. I just want to look at the top-down view first. These two snakes can see each other, probably, which I think is really, really cool. So the other thing, somebody pointed this out in the Discord server as well, that the center is probably going to dominate this field, and I agree with that. The trick is going to be survival, right? It also is interesting that in order for people to run straight through this line, you have to actually jump over those beams, which makes you more susceptible to getting shot, obviously. So I can't imagine that, you know, people will be playing these very much on the other side of the field. You know, you might find that when people transition from one to the other, excuse me, on their side, that they'll be using that. But otherwise, you know, people are just going to be jumping over this to try and run through. But that's going to slow people's run-throughs down quite a bit. So I think that's pretty interesting. So the other thing to note is that, dude, honestly, this is just going to be crazy. In my opinion, I think it's a race to this bunker on either sides of the field. I mean, you could argue that it's actually just a race to these two bunkers. But again, we'll see what the angles are. We obviously, the nice thing is when we cover one side of the field, like one half of the field, we've covered all sides of the field. So we don't need to go too crazy in depth. But by the end of this, hopefully whoever's playing in Texas, you guys will have some kind of idea as far as breakouts are concerned and things like that. So again, I'm not going to take too much time doing this part of it. We're going to look at heads up here in just a second. So I would imagine that it's just a race to these as fast as you can. I mean, maybe you can stop here at the snake, but again, the trick with any of these big bunkers right here that are commanding so much space in the field is that they're very difficult to actually gunfight out of. So something to keep in mind. But all right, let's look at the back line really quick, because that's always a really easy way to tell what sort of shots exist. So you've obviously got this really nice gap up the center from the home that gives you a lot of visibility to the guy in front of you, which is good, because I think a lot of what's going to come down. So what's interesting about this layout is that because it's symmetrical almost entirely, right? Like in a weird sort of way, it's symmetrical entirely here and entirely here, right? Maybe that's not the right way to explain this, but like, it means that there's really no reason to push this way over pushing this way, because you can do that, like, I don't know, It's like no matter which side of the field you're on, no matter when you switch to go to the other side, you're playing the exact same field, if that makes sense, right? Because when you're playing a field that's truly symmetrical, then when you go to the away side, then the Dorito side's on your right. Or when you come to the home side, then the Dorito side's on your left, right? And for some teams, especially in lower divisions, that might have implications about what sort of plays you run, right? Maybe people running and gutting out to the corner aren't as good with their left hand, so you therefore can't really afford that. But you have to step up with your left hand if you're not ready for that. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what sort of like game plan implications that's going to have, honestly, but that's just something to be aware of. So how is it then if no matter which side of the field you play on, it's exactly the same, then how do you build game plans? Like, what is it that you're trying to do? And how is it that you break up the kind of like normalcy of it all, right? Or like the I don't know, the repetitiveness of these breakouts, right? Because in a blind layout, teams will typically break out very, very safe in the first few points. But I've argued several times that good teams will take the first few points that they play and experiment like crazy. They'll take big bites. They'll obviously make good game plans and good breakouts while doing it, but they'll take big bites to learn really quickly in the tournament what it is that you can get away with. And if you do that early on, and then hopefully normalize, at least win 2 games with a good point spread to make it to Sunday, then you're really set up to win the tournament because you know what the limitations of the field are. So I would imagine that a lot of the skill expression of this field is going to come down to how smart the home player is, because that'll determine which side of the field they end up pushing and flipping the field on through like a 3-man push. Okay. All right. Enough of that. So up the center shots, cross field shots is a lot of like blind stuff. So there's no real obvious gaps right here, but you can definitely drop shots right here to hit some of those. Crossfield shots aren't great, except that you can stop here and shoot this. Not sure that's actually a pretty good line. That's a pretty good line. So that's an option. Probably the job for the number 2 on the snake side is to come here and shoot this cross shot. We'll see what the Dorito side looks like after. I was like, wait a minute, where's the Aztec? Where's the tall tower? And it's a can. So that's interesting. This actually tells us that the snake side for the number 2s, or yeah. Okay, sorry. This guys, you'll have to be patient with me. I'm gonna be saying things that I don't mean all the time, so I'm gonna try and go slow. So this matchup right here between these 2 bunkers is in favor of this bunker right here. This is a much easier bunker to gunfight out of than this one is, because this is a true straight line and this is a slanted line, which favors people's natural forms and holding their guns, at least in my experience. I mean, it's not by much, honestly, but this is enough to, I think, favor the snake side push. Because this is a much harder bunker to fight from compared to the Aztec. If you guys have ever gunfought with your teammates in like different bunkers, one person was in, let's say, a Dorito and the other person was in a can, it's very obvious which bunker has the advantage, because it's harder to get that foot out wide to then give you a lot of stability when you're snap shooting. So that's something to note. That's kind of interesting. But the corner, to hold the corner, first of all, there isn't a true tape. So this bunker's, anytime that there's a small cake that doesn't have a true tape, I always consider this a leapfrog bunker, or just a bunker that you're using to get from point A to point B early in the game. And there was a layout like that. I think it was Sunshine State 2020. I think. I'm pretty sure. No. It was 2021, I believe, had like a cake somewhere close to the snake corner, and that was the same thing, right? A lot of times, though, you could get away with running and gunning, but you might be able to here, because the only person that can stop you, which we'll see here in a second, is... Oh, that cross shot's pretty gnarly. That cross shot's pretty wide open from the Dorito side. So this run out right here, this is all free range. So running out to the snake side is going to be pretty hard. Well, that's not the snake side. Running out to the Dorito side on either side, this is going to be a 50-50. So keep this in mind, that when you're making this route, you guys are going to be shooting at each other, and this is a 50-50, okay? So that means that if you are not hitting your shots and they are, try not to give up, okay? Because this is just, I say 50%, but you guys get what I mean, 50-50, right? This is a shot that you just have to take. You have to take it. The teams that worked on their running and gunning will be paid off for their efforts. So, but just if you're getting shot here by the guy that's doing the same thing you are, don't back down from it. Keep trying. keep trying to get the shot down, because if you can't, I mean, if you can't get it down, you're just going to lose. But it'd be better for you to work on this shot if it's kind of like iffy for you early in the tournament, and try to get it down so that, again, by the time you hit Sunday, you've got that shot dialed in, than to just give up on it because you're just diving. And meanwhile, they now have 4 guns up on you, maybe even 5, and you've conceded at 1 gun. So now you're only shooting 3. So again, for those of you who've seen my latest video, you'll know what I'm talking about. But okay, let's keep going over here on the snake side. So down low, you've got a pretty decent wrap. That Dorito right there is going to cause some problems. This Dorito is going to stop you. This juice box here, but I don't think they're going to get there early. It would be very surprising if they did. This can does have a threat. So this kind of centerish can does have a threat to you, but it would be high. So as long as you go low into this, you might be able to get underneath it. You just have to worry about pack hits, but you do have to go low. Otherwise, the option is always like stand up, put him in, and then take this inside route right here. This is not really a dead zone, but depending on where your number one is, or excuse me, where your opponent's number one is, somewhere in here, you can obviously blind him out. So let's say, for example, you got out to this bunker as the number 1, and then the number 2 went here for whatever reason, and then their number 1 went here. Well, now all you really have is this fight right here. Like you certainly have to worry about this. This is a shot you do have to worry about. Right, and they might just do that, but if their front player is good, he'll just wrap and go. Right, he's gonna primarily concern himself going this route. So I don't think he's gonna take the time to look here. Maybe he will. It's certainly possible, especially if people keep using this move. But otherwise, all you really have is this guy to shoot at, and then as soon as you get here, then why go to this corner? There's really no reason to go to this corner except for this move. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like this corner is good. I guess, okay, I can't make any like super hard definitive statements for sure because I have not played it. I would not go to this bunker unless you lose a body. So let's say, for example, off the break, you run to the snake, then you come here and you're shooting some inside shot and this guy dies. I would first say try to get here, but if that's just not working, or maybe it's even like late game and you've lost your mid guy and you're the number 3 here and your teammate's like stranded, then it might be worth it to come out here to support him. But this is not a great bunker. But it might be the only option when it comes to like holding this. It's just you can't see the wire and you're in a super, super submissive bunker. So this layout is not good. You don't like the layout? Excuse me. We're getting a lot of mixed opinions about this layout. I've seen a lot of people saying, I'm not sure if I love it. I'm not sure if I hate it. I'm kind of both. But I actually think this layout will be really fun. I think it's perfect that it's a blind layout. I think if it was a layout that came out 2 weeks and people had time to practice it, I think it'd be pretty boring. But I think this layout's going to be really fun because nobody's played it. All right, you've got a pretty traditional heads-up fight that I think is pretty even. I think this angle compared to this angle is pretty fair. So that's a pretty straight-up gun battle based on, that's a lot of skill expression. Interesting enough, if their number 1 goes to this Dorito corner, you can't actually stop them from moving up the field. So we'll see who can. When it's time to go up the field, then you're actually really safe. So again, all you really have to worry about is this bunker, and then this one. For the most part, if this guy gets to the corner and looks inside, that's a problem. But like in the first, if you're a snake 1 and you get to this bunker, this Aztec off the break, and you're trying to fight into the snake as quick as you can, you really only have one person to worry about, depending on where their front player is. If they're set up here and here, that's a bit harder because now you got 2 guns to beat. But you could honestly get low, and in fact, if you get low, you just have this guy. This is the only guy you got. So as soon as you beat this dude, then boom, you're in. And if this guy breaks out, if this guy comes here and is now past this zone right here, well, now all you have is maybe no one. You could probably just go low enough to get here, but you would have to worry about some kind of secondary bump from this guy to this guy. So it would just be worth it to head check really here really quick, see if you've got anybody there. And then otherwise, I think you're free to get in here. Again, this is what's weird is that, like, I don't know if we'll see people, like, I don't know if we'll see snake 1s that come back here and lay down and hold this zone. I don't know if that's possible. Like, maybe it is. I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a lot of great options to keep the snake out, but it's so weird, man. The fact that, like, mentally you have to think, I am fighting a Dorito 1 player. I am not fighting a snake player. Like, this is not the same, right? Will, what's up, buddy? I think I love it. I think it's super cool and different. I agree. I'm just excited by how different it is, to be honest. Me too. Me too, PB Ninja. All right. I don't think anybody's going to go to this juice box until late game, to be honest. Or maybe this might be an audible. But, like, you're super susceptible. Oh, we didn't finish going to the snake. Okay, so if you're in the bunker, if you're in the snake 1, you've obviously got this fight, which is not free. You've got, honestly, a lot of guns that can shoot at you. So this is a really tough... The more bunkers that can see you when you come up, the more dangerous that move is. So you've got this guy, and this guy that can all see you, which is pretty hard. That almost requires like a head check to get information and then know where the guns are. And then obviously, if you are able, for whatever reason, depending on if there's a Dorito guy right there, right in front of you, you actually can play like right here. You can kind of play back. See this whole zone right here? So let's say that they are, I mean, obviously you got to be careful about this, but let's say they're here or here and you've got somebody who's watching over you, watching these moves. And so they can't get here freely. Well, then now all of a sudden your playground in this snake is like really wide. It's here. You can back up so you can see each other's snake. You can see this move. You can come out here and shoot this guy. I mean, you've got a ton of room to play right in this zone. Except maybe not this far because that Dorito guy can see you. But as long as you're blinding out that Dorito, you've got a lot of room to move back here. You can come up over the top, gain some intel. Otherwise, if you're going to just straight crawl into the snake, I don't think you have anybody that you have to worry about. As long as you crawl really low, you're probably safe from the center guy, and you're definitely safe from this Aztec guy, I would imagine. It's obviously possible to still get clipped in the pod pack, but... you know, because paint drops like crazy. But if you really hug that cake, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. So there's that. Going up to this... oh, sorry. Going up to this bunker here. Oh, that's super awkward. So I don't imagine anybody's going to play this. It's possible, but I doubt it. Otherwise, you've got this guy. You've got this wedge. Got this Aztec, you've got this. So if you get to the snake, you're probably killing this brick right here. But that would be only in the case that they're playing your brick. We'll call that your brick. So that's really the only case that would happen. You have a pretty good shot on this Aztec guy, this tall tower, Mayan temple, whatever you want to call it. Don't have any shots on the wedge if he decides to just play safe. And same for this. This is actually really dangerous snake because of how many people can see you. So if you back up a little bit, you've got the cake, or excuse me, you got the can right here that you can see. I imagine... okay, doesn't look like you have a whole lot after that. You do have this little cheeky play, though, depending on how tall you are, where you can actually stand here and surprise this guy. You can stand here, and again, you're blinding out the guy in front of you. As long as you've got intel on where he is. But you can actually get maybe a cheeky kill if you practice that early to find where that shot is. If nothing else, you get into flinch and then you come up to here. And then now you for sure, if there's anybody in that snake cake, if there's anybody in this cake, they're dead. If anybody's in the Aztec, they're hurting. They're having to live behind their gun. But that cake is definitely gone. They're still probably safe-ish. This is an angle where if they're looking opposite from you, you'd have to shoot them in the pack by them playing back a little bit. My mirror is on me. You've obviously got... what a gap is this? Oh, wow. You have pretty much a heads up. I imagine people will be able to see each other here. That is cool. What a cool angle. Really? Let me zoom out. Sorry. Wow, that is interesting. That is interesting. That's kind of crappy though, because that means that there's nobody who can really protect you, and you're really susceptible to being run down here too. If you make this move, you actually have to make something else happen after that, because this is a really far up bunker that's really close to this Dorito that makes it easy for you to get run down and to take that. And then... oh, interesting. And then obviously when you get here, you have to be careful about the crossfield shot that could kill you. So I would suspect that maybe I take back what I said. It looks like these bunkers are the ones that you're gonna that you want your team to hunker down in and wait till they get the call and then to come run the dude down, whoever's here, and slide into this. If you can do that, then you've got this shot right here from the opposite. I don't know. I would imagine that teams are going to hunker down in these spots right here. I would imagine that depending on what happens, like, so let's say, for example, this team kills this dude, then I think is when this guy launches and either takes him or just comes here and plays heads up. But it's like, you kind of have to know if this guy opposite side of you dies. Like, if you hear a snake, kill the snake or whatever, and you're playing here, then it's like, oh, okay, I can go up to here and then protect myself. I don't have to worry about this move right here. But if you've got 5 alive and you're trying to like get down the field quickly, I just think it's super risky to come here right away. That's just me though. I heard you like mirrors, so we put mirror in your mirror. So if you go to the snake, it's not snake and snake battles. True. I feel like bounce shots on that snake position would be a concern. Nope, you'll be fighting their Doritos. That's definitely different. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. If you're here, if you don't kill this guy, if you're not challenging that tall Aztec, you can definitely get maybe a pack bounce on this guy. It'd be pretty hard. But otherwise, I'm actually looking at this pin right now. Oh, man. Look at this bounce. Look at this bounce right here. Right here. I think that exists. I think that's a thing. I mean, to be fair, like, your chances of killing them only really exist if they're shooting your Aztec. So if this guy comes up here and is just chopping this side of the field off right here, threatening your snake corner guy or your Aztec or even your wedge, then this shot coming in is going to get them to flinch for sure. So I guess as the number 2, hey, pay attention, number 2's on the Dorito. If you get to this can and you hear them like, hey, 50 snake, again, I don't know what you're going to call things. Like, it's up to you. I'll actually give you guys what I would call stuff. But you should pepper the crap out of this bunker because I think you'll get them to flinch inside for sure. All right, let's... I don't think there's any reason to look at this juice box. Anytime there's like these inset bunkers that are kind of small, I consider these like really specific scenario bunkers. So like, for example... I always ask myself, like, why would I go to this bunker? What job does this bunker do really well at? So that's not a number 1 bunker. Anything, that juice box would be a number 2 on the snake side. So if we were to be the number 2 here for a second, maybe we shoot this shot. Okay, boom. We come heads up. We're shooting wherever the guy's going, which there are a ton of angles. We may not even bother shooting the cross shot because you have so many gaps to shoot the Dorito player. Like, oh man, even right here. So look at this gap. You just stand right here. So that means there's a ton of shots right here. You've obviously got this shot here and you're just floating in this dead zone. But that means then that you have to be wary about the guy shooting back at you. You have to worry about your mirror, quote unquote, your mirror shooting back over you. So here would be my recommendation. I would, on point number 1, I would take that gap. Point number 1, I would play this zone as the number 2, and I would try to shoot their Dorito guy with the gaps that we just looked at, and do that for as long as it takes their guy to shoot back at you. And if they are shooting back at you, then shoot back at them. Christian, what's up, buddy? If you are coming out to this dead zone and they're shooting back at you, just try to 50-50 it and see if it works. Otherwise, you'll force each other to get to this tower, which is fine. But the reason you didn't want to go to the tower is because now you have less of a window to shoot the front Dorito guy. So, okay, otherwise, you've got this up the center push, which is a thing, as the number 2. So you can run straight up here and get a different angle, which is really strong. This is a super strong angle. A little less so if they survive this, if they get out and are here, then you can't, at least as far as guns up is concerned, you can't see them getting up even into this Dorito right now. I mean, even if they get here, you can't see any of that. So that would be the case where, okay, they've crossed, as soon as they've crossed this line right here, as soon as they cross this line, I have 5 seconds to make something happen. When that usually would require shooting whoever's heads up and then checking off the middle as you make a move. So that could be that you come here, and this would be the reason you'd come to this bunker. So you come here, and now you can contain this guy. The problem is that this is a containment that, like, it's going to be hard to shoot them outright depending on the division you're playing in. And as soon as they scout you, you're kind of in a weird spot. You're not like super susceptible to being run down, but like you have to live behind your gun or play super tight. Otherwise, the opposite side of the field can see you very easily, right? Any sort of center push, stuff like that. But most of the time, doesn't you paintballs pop most of the time when you hit the thing on the bounce shot? No, not necessarily. I mean, even like really high quality tournament paint won't always do that. It's really just about angles. If you shoot a bunker straight on, it's obviously going to pop. But if you're shooting it at kind of an angle that's going to, at like a ricochet direction, if you're hitting this edge, you have a very good chance of bouncing off the bunker. So, okay, if we get up here then, let's say we get here, we shoot. We're like, okay, he got somehow to this bunker. What can I do next? Well, this isn't a terrible spot to stop him either, but it's really uncomfortable to be here. So can you go up further? So as long as if you look inside, your two primary concerns are going to be this can and this guy. Because again, when people make moves, just to remember, you guys got to remember this. When people make moves, you have like 2 to 5 seconds to react to that. 5 seconds, depending on if you're playing lower divisions, you've got sometimes 5, 6, 7, 10 seconds to react to that. But the higher up the divisional ranks you go, the less of a window you have, because as soon as front players make moves, they instantly get their gun up and start shooting at people. So if you obviously want to be a really good front player, make a move and shoot a gap to prevent somebody from just matching what you did. But if you see a guy like cross this zone for whatever reason, and you're like, ooh, I don't want to be here anymore, if he gets to this Dorito, then immediately look inside, check these two bunkers off, this can, check this first, and then check this can, and then immediately get here, and then get low, and just be quiet. Be super, super quiet. Because then if he tries to take this bite, which I think we've established this is the bunker they want to get to, then as soon as they take this bite, this is super free. But this works really well if nobody saw you. Obviously, still super susceptible to getting run down. Right here, here. Any one of these bunkers is still super, super susceptible. Let's see. You see in pocket plays here or big 50 runs. I think it depends on the division you're playing in, to be honest. I think the snake one. I think the snake off break is a pretty reasonable make. But we'll see from the other perspective. But like, I think you can make the snake one with like reasonable certainty, because like the can guy has to kill you from here, from this tall Aztec to this mini Aztec, because by the time you get here, you're probably low enough that they can't kill you. So this is the gap you have to worry about. And the thing with this gap is that they're running to shoot you if they're shooting at you from the can. Otherwise, if they're floating out in some kind of dead zone right here, then they're super susceptible to your Dorito guy that's shooting back at them. So, and again, we'll look at that in a second, but I just don't think there's going to be anybody shooting you except for maybe some blind shot over the cross. Like as they're crossing out this way, there might be some kind of blind shot coming your way, but that's a hard shot, because otherwise you're going to be faster than the number 2. Like you're going to get to the snake faster than the number 2 can get to this bunker and shoot you from safety. Right? And the more accurate your Dorito to your number 2 on the Dorito side is, the more of a threat he's applying to this guy, which means he can't really just like freely shoot at you. So I think the snake is going to be super free. The problem is that the snake doesn't have a lot of kill potential being in here. It's just kind of a position you need to hold. I think you get to the snake so you can stop the Dorito. I don't think it's that like the snake is where you want to get to win the game. I think you have to get there to stop the Dorito guy. Okay, let's look at a couple more things. We're moving our way over. I just want to look at the center. So this would be their brick, kind of. Super, super awkward, in my opinion, to get here early, because you have so much stab potential that would be really hard to stop. So if you get 2 kills on one side, this is a great bunker to get to right away and then just chop off the field, because now you can play here. You can play... Here, let me back up. You can play this edge, which is still not super safe. But if you're playing here, you're a lot safer than having to play back here, because you might be able to hide your pack even if a guy comes and tries to run you down right there. So getting 2 kills, coming up here to chop off the field is not a bad idea. But even still, you're kind of living behind your gun with the home guy. If you step out, though, depending on where the number 2 is, this is a good move. This is a really good move. So, all right. So let's say you're the number 2 on the snake side. You get 2 kills off the snake. I think you run straight here. I think you run right away, and you dive into here. I think it's super free, dude. Dive into here, come here, challenge the home. If he puts you in, you can chill here and just chop off this entire side. It's just the problem is, again, you run the risk of getting run down. But if you want to like really blow open the point, shoot this dude, come here, and then just challenge these guys. This play is really free depending on how likely it is that these guys are going to look on the inside of the field, which I don't think it's very likely. So otherwise, you blind out the home and like look at where you're at, man. Home can't see you. He's got to bump out. He's got to come out here to stab you, or even just run straight at you. But like at the meanwhile, you're killing this guy, you're killing this guy, you're killing this guy. You might even kill this dude. So that's a really powerful move. Look for that. If you get 2 kills off the break on the snake side, go straight up to that brick and blow open the point. I can definitely make snake 2 off break. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get my paintball knowledge up because I'm starting to get into paintball, and I got my paintball place like every weekend. Nice. That's awesome. Well, to get to the snake, if some dude on the other team, if he gets shot in the Dorito fast enough, couldn't he hit you before you get to the snake? I mean, I'm just saying that like off the break, the only person who's going to kill you like guaranteed is somebody who decides to stop right here and shoot you. But that's a really risky move for them because you guys can see each other, right? Like if that guy's if we off the box step right here even and shoot, well, this entire gap where the number 2 on the Dorito side would be is entirely visible to me. So this guy can't really like step out and just start shooting at my snake guy because I'm going to kill him, right? And so that would be the case in which I would have to worry about dying in this gap like 100% of the time. But if this guy if the number 2 on the Dorito side has to get to this can before he can shoot me, well, I'm already like right here by the time that happens, right? I'm already here. That's a really small window for this guy to kill me. That's like, that window is like this. That's a small window for him to shoot you. And again, that's a skilled player for them to hit that. You'll probably see it all the time. Like I would imagine in the pro division, you'll see that it's pretty hard to get into the snake off the break. I think most teams are going to do it, but I think you'll find that this is going to be a hard bunker to get to. But I think lower divisions, you'll see that it's pretty easy to get to the snake. I would suspect. All right, let's look at the home really quick. So you've got this gap here for the Doritos. It looks like the Doritos are going to be hard to get to because there's a lot of open gaps. You've got obviously up the center stuff. You've got, if you want to bingo the number 2, or if you want to like have 2 guns on the number 2 to like shoot him off the break, you've got this whole gap right here that you can shoot in conjunction with the number 2, with your number 2 on the Dorito. So what that would look like is this and this as this guy runs out. So I actually think that the number 2 on the Dorito side is like a high survival, like that guy's going to have a hard time surviving. And I think he needs to survive because I think the Dorito side is going to be the strong push personally. And obviously that's if you want to bingo the Dorito 2 guy. The Dorito 1 guy you could bingo, Dorito 1 guy you could bingo right here, or rather just shoot up the center. A lot of visibility, heads up the center, so that's going to be tricky. But if you get here and so like let's say for example you hold this zone, you're like bang 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 bang, wait, nobody's crossed this, so that means that they're pulled up short. That means that they're stopped right here, so they haven't crossed this zone. Well, now all of a sudden if you do it quickly, you can wrap, shoot whatever exists, or just go low, slide here, and now you're still holding the same zone, but now you're in a much farther up position. So now that's a nice secondary move right off the break. Again, that's a read and react kind of move, like depending on if you see bodies cross the zone. It still might even be a move that you make regardless. But otherwise, you're probably pretty... Oh, okay. So this is a move that you'll want to watch out for, and a move that you want to be looking for as the snake 1 is this really early like read and react secondary move. So if this guy like, let's say he comes here, say he shoots, they cross this zone, okay? So now this home guy can't see hardly anything. But let's say he wants to hold the Dorito side still. Well, then he's going to come up here, realize, oh, I can't see anything still, but now I want to get to this wedge in front of me. Well, boom, as soon as I make that move, you've got this guy who can chop you up, even this guy who can chop you up. So the snake guys look for up the center moves. Otherwise, even if you try to leapfrog using this tower, that's still pretty risky. Super risky, in fact. And then, okay, so actually when I said you could use this tower, you probably could, but like this snake guy is going to kill you. This snake guy kills you for sure. And I don't think it's going to be hard for them to get to the snake too. So maybe that's a number 3's job to challenge the snake. To challenge here and to challenge here, but you're living behind your gun if you're doing that. So, to go to the snake off the break is risky because of another dude on the other team gets the snake as well. Wouldn't he shoot you though? I'm not sure I'm following you. To go to the snake off break is always risky. It's just a matter of how risky, right? If it's 50%, 50-50, that people take that all the time. If it's like, if your chances of survival are like below 50% of the time, then it's not. You got to make a very specific game plan for that. Or like you have to make a specific breakout for the reason you're going there off the break. Okay, let's go over to the Dorito side. Okay, so like we said, massive cross-field shots to your heads up. You've got shots for days, heads up, right here. Lots of shots. So many shots. I probably wouldn't shoot this inside shot. I probably wouldn't shoot that. But lots of shots here. So this is you got a pretty good shot shooting this guy. I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. That's pretty far. That's pretty far. But so this is another one where like, so you've got two dead boxes, 2 dead zones that people can float out in for both the number 2s. So you've got this one here and you've got this one here. And these are where the number 2s will go. And so let's say, for example, you're playing against a team that's not very smart. Okay. If that were to be the case, then I would have both your number 2s. I would have both your number 2s float out in these zones and shoot the guys that are running wide. That's what I would do. Now, the problem is that when you start doing that and people are like, hey, what do we got to do to stop that? That's when this guy, as he runs out, is going to start shooting back at you. And then that's where this guy even running out here is going to start shooting back at you just in the blind shot over the top. So then when that starts to happen, that's when you'll have to try to get out to your bunker much quicker. But otherwise, like, this is the play, man. To be right here. Maybe even... I don't know. It's kind of high. I don't know if you can get your paint low enough, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. That's pretty high. I don't think you'd hit the corner guy because he's diving already. But if the snake runner's running high, you could. That's a really small sliver. That's too much of a sliver for you to shoot. And again, you're super exposed to this guy. So otherwise, you run here. Heads up, pretty traditional. I would say a disadvantaged heads up, but mostly concerned with this guy. And then let's see what the corner run looks like. So if we come out to the corner, shooting back looks like you're going to shoot back at the guy shooting at you. So here, maybe, I don't think you'd hit a guy there, but like depending on where they're going, that might be an option. Get here. So what shot exists? So you've got this cross shot on the Dorito on the inside, which is interesting. Something to be aware of, at least. I would imagine that Dorito guy would put more pressure on you than you would on him because it might be like unbeknownst to you, you're sticking too tall as you're trying to fight heads up. So just be aware of that. Play tight in this bunker. If you come up tall, you can see this and this. I don't think I would look that far inside. I don't know. The thing is with center wings, people get really careless where they'll stand up over the top a lot. If you play like a center push, there was a WCPP layout where that was the case. Center wings up the field, people like to play up over the top all the time. So you might actually be able to get a surprise shot on this guy. But this is not a wrap I would really care for. I'd probably just stay wrapping. Well, that's not an inside shot I'd care for. I'd probably just stay wrapping here. You got to worry about those. Can you blind anybody? Okay, so if you come out a little bit, you still got to worry about the Aztec guy because he might be able to get like a bounce into you like this. But otherwise, you've got this guy you have to beat. And like where he will likely be, that's probably the biggest. Yeah, wow. That's actually the only guy you have to beat in a traditional breakout. That's pretty crazy. I guess the home guy could kill you. Yeah, if the home guy's shooting this gap. That's a pretty hard gap to dedicate a lane to, though. So, like, This was true for World Cup 2021 on the Dorito side, that if there was at a certain point in the game, depending on where their front player went, if you beat the number 2, you could go all the way. You could go all the way to the 50. So I would imagine that if you come out here, as long as you play low, what's good, bro? As long as you play low and shoot this Aztec guy, and if you get him to go in, then you're clear for takeoff, man. You can come here and you can run and dive. And the reason this is pretty safe is because depending on where the home guy is shooting, you should be able to see his paint. If it's coming low, go out. If it's coming high, just go straight in. Okay? You might even have to like do-si-do where you kind of come here and then go like that. I'm exaggerating, but like this is enough. Like if you're playing this position and the home guy's shooting at you, you'll see that paint. You'll see that paint. So that means that, okay, I beat the Aztec. Boom, I come out here. This is kind of free. Run. Come around. Boom. Just look for it. I'm not saying you can get away with it all the time, but that would be kind of the reason you go to the corner, I would suspect, is you want to launch. So then that means coming here. What does this offer you? So this is a very heads up, as we looked on the other side. Very traditional heads up. You're really safe from the number 2, so you don't have to worry about that guy at least challenging you. So it's a one-on-one. Wrap, you've got this guy to worry about if you're playing tall. This guy, if he moves up. This guy, if he moved up as well. Some kind of center push. If you wanted to beat the guy in front of you, which is super awkward because he's a snake guy, this guy's a huge threat. So this is kind of a slow play. Inside moves, you got to worry about you got to worry about your mirrors, your quote-unquote mirrors. So if you wrap on the inside, you just got to be very careful because you got to check these guys off and then wrap even further. You're probably safe if the guy stays at the home to just check these dudes off and then go low, go really low, get to the juice box, come here, boom. Now you can hold this gap even stronger. If you have to break out, then if let's say you do get here, maybe timing was bad or he beats you in, then now you're free to go here because you're too low. Well, that's not true. This is a gap. This is a big gap. This gap right here will kill you. So this is a lot of what has to stop the Doritos is preemptive zone control. If you're trying to only shoot what you see on this layout, you are going to struggle. So if you're not in the habit of just like dumping paint in zones to try and control the field, this is a really good layout to teach you that. I'd suspect the number 2s on both sides of the field should carry like 7 pods at the least, maybe 8, depending on the division you're playing in. But because here's the thing: if you're the number 2, if you're here and the number 1's in front of you, and he makes his bunker, that should be a tell for you that their number 1 is going to try and do whatever he can to match it. Okay, so that means that you should just pump paint in a zone to stop it, to stop them from matching. Do the very first thing you should do to prevent them from matching the move, and then work your way towards them directly, right? As soon as you shoot the landing pad, then you can start moving further and further towards where the guy actually is. And then you can, get into an actual gunfight. But like, that's a really way to frustrate a front player. A really easy way to frustrate a front player. All right, so go here. Sorry, guys, I'll read chat in just a second. Go here. I mean, you're putting so much pressure on the home guy, but this is still pretty safe for him. Pretty safe for the Aztec to fight you. This guy's in trouble. Up the center moves. You would have to worry about this guy. You would have to worry about the wedge. But I don't know, man. I feel like, yeah, actually, if we did that wing play that I talked about where the guy's here, the guy's right here, this would get you for sure. But like, if you beat the 2 guys in front of you, or rather, if you don't have to worry about the front player right now. You just got to beat this guy, and as soon as you beat him, then except there's that can. Okay, let's look at something just really quick. Does it make more sense to hold cross? No. Yeah, definitely not. But from here, if you're here, you have to live behind your gun. I don't think that's a good place to be. Okay. So I think I'm ready to talk about the field. Wait, 1 second. This can guy is going to die if you get to this Dorito. So many shots. Is there a bounce shot? Actually, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. When you get up to here, if you get to this bunker, this guy is dead. This guy's in trouble. This guy's a fight. The can is dead for sure. On his pack, at least. The home guy is in trouble. But, okay, so one of the things I was looking at really quickly was just, if you're here, it's possible maybe. I don't know. It's kind of risky. But if this guy's not getting pressured by the snake, he's actually he's pretty safe to wrap. So it could be one that you, like, shoot some paint here, which might bounce. I would doubt that would work. And I don't think this angle will get that paint over there to shoot at this guy. That's a pretty far distance. But the angle I was looking at is if it comes straight here. If it comes straight here and bounces like this, I was thinking you might be able to stop this push. And you might, maybe. But you'd have to do it on the inside of the field. Otherwise, you're just looking at the guy, right? If this guy's trying to wrap shooting this bounce shot, well, you're already looking at each other. So it'd have to come from the inside of the field. And even still, I think you'd probably see each other before that bounce could exist. Maybe on the God, actually. Maybe the God could do it, actually, now that I say that. It might be that the God can shoot this. I don't know. That's a far gap. That's a really far gap. Probably not. I don't know. I wouldn't suspect that. Okay, let's reach out and then I'll give you some breakouts and stuff. Tonlo, what's up, buddy? Welcome. Okay. The back Doritos on one side is wrong. It's a small Dorito, but on this side it's a mid Dorito. Oh, really? Wait, on the layout? Oh! Oh my gosh. How did I not notice that? Yeah, this is a baby Dorito. And this one over here is a mid Dorito. Can anybody confirm what that bunker is at the actual tournament? These are not the same. Good catch. Good catch. It seems like there might be a funny situation where teams use the dead zone as long as they can until one of them decides to use their dead zone guy to shoot the other dead zone guy. That's exactly right. Do you want to do that thing with the wait? Do what you do thing to get like D1 or just a normal bunker. Yo, what's up, Luke? Welcome. I feel like the Dorito guys are going to end up in the snake. Yeah, probably. I'm reading your question correct. My thoughts are these legs are faster than them balls, and then suddenly I'm in the bunker and I saw. What would you do if this was a 3-man tourney layout? Oh, dude. 3-man tourneys. Okay, I told people I would actually make a video on 3-man tourney strategy, so I don't want to spend too much time on it because I know there's probably some people in Texas that are like only caring about breakouts right now. I'll just tell you this: all that 3-mans come down to are just some basic principles that I've actually mentioned in the Discord server already. So if you're not there, please join the Discord server. The principles are that you should always stay on your feet, you should always keep your gun up, and if there ever is a one-on-one, get out of the snake. Those are like the 3 basic guides. Outside of that, it's just like, how do we bully somebody? So like, because the center guy is your ringer, right? Wherever the center guy decides to go is where you're hoping to play that 2v1. So because typically you're going to send a guy like wide on either side and then one up the center. And so how is it that we can make, let's say they do the same thing, how is it that we can make a 2v1, right? Maybe it's not there, maybe the 2v1 is over here. So you've got one, and then one guy over here. So all that really comes down to is how smart the the center guy is. And then all the while, everybody's just playing on the outside of their bunkers and like on the edges, right? You're just playing wrap and go paintball pretty much the entire time. The tricky part is when people like start to look on the inside of the field when they're wide, because then that just leaves a lot of freedom because this guy's too far away to shoot anybody in reaction to that. So like you can obviously punish people. Like I think threes is a really easy way to learn how to punish mistakes. And so like if everybody goes out, like let's say everybody matches each other in their breakouts, but these guys have a tendency to look on the inside when they get to the corners. These guys are going to win if all they do is play normal wrap and go paintball. Because again, by the time by the time these cross guys react to what's going on, it's too late. Like, you have to be shooting that paint preemptively, and that distance is far enough that it'd be easy to even just run under that paint. But anyway, it is a small Dorito. Okay, thank you. That's what I like to see. Big Dog, keep it up. Crossfield communication. What's up, Ron? How are you? It is a small Dorito. Okay, cool. Thank you. Should be small Dorito. Off the break, run and gun to the center wedge, and then crawl to that brick. You could do that. What's the move for the center guys early mid late game? Okay, let's look at that really quick. So I think early game, if you want to play it safe, you either have this shot, you have this Dorito side shot that you can take. You got a straight up heads up challenge, which is actually going to be probably pretty common, I would suspect, because to be honest, like anybody who wants to shoot the Dorito side, that's going to be your Dorito side, right? This crossfield shot is like everything. This is probably the biggest skill expression that you're going to have throughout most of the tournament, is how good are the number 2s at running and gunning on the Dorito side. And whoever's your best run and gunner, you should put him there. But otherwise, same thing. Like, you've got this really, and even the heads up actually on the heads up on the Dorito side is a lot stronger. Gives you a lot more visibility. You don't really have any other gaps. So if you, let's say off the break, you wanted to, let's see, okay, you go here, you can't see anything snake. So why would you do that? Dude, yes. I mean, to be honest, I don't think there's a reason that you go to this wedge to shoot that gap. I don't think there's a reason that you go off the break to shoot this gap. Because you can get that gap controlled from this position and not have to move. Whereas if you do it here, you're on your feet moving and you might miss the guy by the time you get here. So I think you use this bunker to leapfrog to get here. But honestly, like, you could straight up, like, off the break, you could just run straight here. Like, who's going to shoot you? Maybe an over the top shot. I mean, it's still not like, I guess it's not free, but like, look at how hard it would be to shoot me if I just ran straight here. As soon as I get here, you can't control the zone for the number 1 on the Dorito, which is tough unless he gets to the Dorito 1 already. So if he's in the Dorito 1, this is a pretty decent place to stop him from going any further. Even the corner, it's pretty decent, but you can't see them before then, really. I mean, maybe you can, but you might be able to actually. If you step out a little far, if you step out right here, you could. You just got to be really careful because this guy right here might pick you off. The guy who matches you, essentially, might pick you off. So otherwise, if you look inside, you've got this gap to hold, or you got that spot to hold in this gap. By the way, if you're playing these wedges, the safest place to do them is on your legs. Like, get down on your legs and shoot them right here. Okay, because if you try to fight this snake guy from this angle, that is a rough angle for you. That's a very rough angle for you. So just be aware. Dude, heads up is like suicide. This is a suicide challenge. That is a lot. So otherwise, if you go here off the break and you get down low and you crawl, you get here. Yeah, maybe you check off your mirror right away. Maybe you just look at this dude right away. Excuse me. See if he makes that move. Hold on one sec. Otherwise, this is a really strong hold. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine that you can get to this bunker without them being here already. Like, you could hold this zone, but now you're in a much more dangerous spot than you were before. So if you held that zone from here, you're a lot safer than if you do it from here. So then otherwise, what's the point of going here? Well, now you might be able to hit a pack, especially depending on how tall you are. You might be able to hit a pack of a guy trying to move up. You definitely got a strong stop on a guy that's just going to take this bite without checking you. If you wrap far, depending on how, I think you could, yeah. I think you can look at this. I think you can kill this guy, this god bunker as he tries to go into the snake. Obviously, you've got a strong heads up challenge from this position. You've got a low wrap on the home guy. Might be able to pick up a hopper or two, depending on where he's looking. So you got a low wrap there. And then get here, and all of a sudden, you've got a huge gap. I mean, this wouldn't be a bunker. Again, this bunker, so what we've established is this bunker is the sneaky, like, I get here and nobody saw me make this move. So the powerhouse bunkers on the field, it looks like are the bunkers you want to try and get to. It looks like are even the two behind it is pretty good. This one, and this one, and obviously identical, right? Those seem to be the strong bunkers. Okay, let's look at breakouts. So I think your number 2 goes here most of the tournament on the Dorito side. Oh wait, there's one more move we need to look at. What's this up the center move? It's challenge. Dude, there's no way. There is no way you could do that. You might actually, as the number 2, you might actually be able to float right here. So instead of being out committed in the open, you might actually be able to float like right here in this zone. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that. If you see a lot of teams challenging each other from this angle, right? And then depending on if you get heat, you go low right here. And then you might be able to challenge again and then get out here if you want, or you come here and essentially become the number 3, and then the dude behind you fills out afterwards. Oh, you can't see that. That's actually a pretty good move, I think. So it might be that you've got essentially a 2-man stack right here, where this guy's shooting for the snake, this guy's shooting up the center, maybe slightly snake favored, and then depending on if this guy just ran out and committed, or if this guy was also floating, then you go from there. Otherwise, you can decide if you want to go here or if you want to go here. But like, there's no way. I don't think there's any way you could go straight. I mean, there's always a chance, right? It's paintball, but I don't think there's any way you can go straight up here to this can with this much of a wide gap. Even if this dude just reacts to that, even if he wasn't shooting at you beforehand, him running out here while you're running at him, essentially, that's just so risky. That's a bang bang trade for sure. Otherwise, if you get here, you're actually in a pretty good position to stop the God guy. This is a pretty strong spot to shoot that guy. And if you kill him, then you can wrap and hold this zone really easily. This guy can't, there's no way this guy can get out if you're shooting that. So that's a pretty strong bunker. What's its weakness? This guy, for sure. This center push is really a scary thing. Okay. Let me catch up. You should be here. What, are you talking to me? I wish I was there. How do we bully somebody? So true. Perfect description of 3-man. Yeah, it's just like, how do we, whoever, 3-mans are won by whoever you bully, how effectively you bully somebody. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Hello from Thailand. Oh my gosh. Welcome. Did you make this, or is it publicly available? Found it. Wow, that's dope. Yep. You're welcome. I think the link is in the description of the video too. Hey guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to join the Discord server if you haven't. You can, is it exclamation Discord working? I didn't set up that command. It's in the description of the video. Join the Discord server. Become a subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Helps me out a lot. All right. Let's look at breakouts. So I think the number 3, for the most part, his decision is going to be either do I go... Oh, sorry. I keep changing this. His decision is either here... or here. Wait, I gotta check one more thing. I mean, this is the same job. This inside shot from the wedge and the Aztec is the same job. So why would I choose one over the other? I would choose this one because I'm safer from the Doritos, but even still, I'm really safe from the Doritos right here. So I think this is a leapfrog bunker. I think you only take this if you have to, or if you're trying to chop off like the field. So let's say you kill somebody on the snake side or the Dorito side. You kill their front player. I think you can come here as a response to chop this zone off and then just work your way that way. But I don't think you go here off the break. I think for the number 3, your decision is really, do I want to play here or do I want to play here? Hey, PB Ninja. Thanks for becoming a supporter, buddy. I appreciate it. Hey, the more you guys I don't mean to shamelessly plug this, but the more you guys become supporters, which is I think like $3 a month, I can't even remember what I set it up as. The more you guys that become supporters, the more likely it is I can come out to these events. I'm trying to save for a house, man. It's expensive, as everybody knows. Hola from Puerto Rico. Wow. Dynasty will prevail. I believe you, actually. We gotta get past this. We've about an hour into this, so let's get to the predictions really quick. All right. So I think that's the number 3's decision is, do I want to play from the home and shoot safely the snake way? Your shot, it looks to be only this snake gap. Or you can obviously shoot somewhere, you can shoot this zone or this. Anywhere in here is fine. But I don't think there's any really like safe shots. Or actually, sorry, I should do this. This is the gap. Of course, it's worth it. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you. I think those are the gaps that you take. So if you're wanting to, and also the reason that you go here instead of here is that this back bunker gives you options to react to stuff. So if you're going here, it's because you've made a decision. Like I'm going here to execute a specific thing. But the reason why the number 3 is so hard is because a lot of what you do is read and react. And the only way you can do that on this layout, it seems to be, would be to play this bunker. So that's an option. But I think that your shots really are just that. Shoot either heads up, shoot the dead zone gap, or shoot for the D side runner. And then if you go up to the center right here, it's really where you just kind of got to get tricky, man. You can either hold this gap. You can either hold the Dorito guy if he's already gotten to the Doritos, which is a pretty strong move. You can come up here and play a very aggressive snake like in your face. Just know that obviously these 2 bunkers are really susceptible to being run down. You just got to be aware of that. And obviously it's possible for people to jump over and come and run you down, but it's going to be really hard. As far as the number 2 on the Dorito side is concerned, I really think that your option is to either come out to this bunker right away and shoot at the home, or shoot back at your mirror and then play heads up as soon as you can to try and shoot the snake guy, or you float out here to more guarantee this snake side kill. And then you have a choice. You can either go here or you can go up to this can, depending on what happens. So let's say, for example, you were to play this zone and you're like, I'm pretty sure I shot that snake guy. Well, then is when I would probably try to get up the field really quickly so that you can chop off the zone in a much more up in your face position. Again, you risk your body doing so. So I would probably be weary of like this guy reading reacting and this guy reading reacting, and then both of them end up going in the same, I don't think you want this. I don't think that's good. So I would probably say like this guy's read and react is lower priority than this guy's, if that makes sense. So if I was to play the number 3 and I knew that my number 2 on the Dorito side was going to read and react in this play, I would have to make a move after he made a move. So if I saw that my number 2 went to here, I'd be like, okay, now I can read and react and go up the field. I can do that. But if I see that he's still floating out, or then maybe he takes this bite, well, now I know I need to go this way. I need to make that snake side push. This is an indication to me that we either got to kill off the break, or we're just trying to contain them super hard and we want to punish them for it. So we're gonna boom. We got a 3-man push. We got a guy, our number 3 here, our number 2 here, and maybe our number 1 somewhere here. And we've got a 3-man push this side. Okay, so then your number 1. I think it's definitely an option, as always, to run out here. The problem is that this run, you guys remember my last video where I said don't send 2 players to the same zone off the break? I think the exception to that in this case is like, if this guy's running and gunning, it's going to be hard for him to kill both of you. But if this guy stops in this dead zone and shoots at you, that's pretty risky to make this move. So how do you combat that? Well, I think this guy plays the dead zone more often than not. I think you send your front guy out. This guy plays and reads and reacts, whatever. Obviously, it's an option to just go straight into here. That's definitely an option. It's also an option to go here and to then read and react here. It's just really dicey. That's really hard to do, because what you have then to do is this guy has to win whatever's in front of him before this guy can safely go behind him. You remember that principle we talked about in the number 2 guide? You don't want to go past your front player without having control of what's in front of you. And it's pretty hard to do that in the first, like, it's pretty hard to know if you have control in the first 5 seconds. But that just means, like, if you're creating this game plan where you're like, okay, we're going to pull up short on the Dorito side, but we're going to try and get a kill off the Dorito side. So this is what this would look like. Okay. So let's say All right, there's snake guy. When he gets into the snake, he just wins the point for us. Well, how do we stop that? How do we kill the snake guy? Okay, well, the number 2 on the Dorito is going to stop here, and he's going to shoot heads up. And he's going to shoot, you know, the snake side from the Doritos, and he's going to try and kill him. Okay. And then this guy is going to come out here and try to get there as fast as possible and shoot this guy as well. And then as soon as this guy, whatever happens, he has to win the heads up. Like, he has to shoot that gap and try to control this guy. And he has to risk his body as much as possible to do so that this guy can freely go here. It can't be the case that this guy like makes this move and then, oh, I'm getting shot at, I give up. I lose my dominance, and then this guy tries to get out past you. That doesn't work. So this is what we'll talk about this in a later video, but one of the videos I'm going to talk about is like how to have purposeful gunfights. Because gunfighting is a big percentage game, but you can play with those percentages if you're building if you're gunfighting around your game plan. So if you're like, again, I got to get past my guy, that means you number 2 or whoever this guy in this can is, you have to fight to your death until I make this move, right? Hey, Eric Lewison, thank you for the supporter, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know if that went off. Oh, it did. Okay, I don't know why I didn't make a sound. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Anyone have an opinion on the new Ether 3 for the low budget tourney play? It's been 15 years since I play regularly, and I'm getting back into it again. We actually, I think, have quite a few people in the Discord server that have opinions about Ether 3, so be sure to join the Discord server. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the Dorito side. It's going to be a lot of like one person floats here and the other guy decides to go here or here. Thank you for the awesome content. Absolutely, Eric. Thank you for the supporter, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Snake side. I think the snake is I think this is probably a 50-50. I actually think that this move is going to be, okay, Division 4 to Division 3. I think this play on Friday, I think is like 70%. I think you can make that 70% of the time. And that's probably even pretty low. I think you can make that, I think you can make this 80% of the time. Division 2, you're probably closer to 60%. And then semi-pro up is like 50 at best. I think you can make that 50% of the time on Friday, and then it goes, and then every day after that, it's going to go down. Saturday, Sunday, that percentage is going to drop. So this is, again, the idea: play aggressive to start. At the beginning of the tournament, everybody who's playing tomorrow, if anybody who's watching this is playing the tournament, play aggressive tomorrow, but still make smart moves. So, for example, you don't want to send a guy here and a guy here off the break. Don't do that, right? Do one or the other. Be like, okay, we want to get to this. I'm not saying you should do that necessarily, but like, make the play that we're going to push the Dorito side really hard, and that means you should pull up short on the snake side. Okay, but try that move early and be like, hey, man, nobody's really shooting me. Or rather, come out here to the corner and like be looking for that straight shot that we talked about and make that the priority for the Dorito side, and then make it to this god and just try to play like read and react heads up paintball to get into the snake, right? But you should try to like get up the field, do something aggressive early in the tournament, and just don't lose that first game, okay? All right, sorry, snake side. I don't think you use this bunker unless you have to. I'm thinking that depending on what the angles are at the actual event, I don't think this is a good bunker. I think you go to this bunker in response to losing a teammate. So if you lose your front player as he's trying to make it out, and you need to support, or you need to stop the bleeding, because this Dorito side's going to come down, right? As soon as you lose this guy, I think this Dorito side gets up here really quickly, because all they have to do is beat this dude. This Dorito 1 guy, all he has to do is shoot that guy. In the early game, that's all he has to do to get up to the 50. So just be aware of that. So this isn't a bad response, because if you go here only to then go here, well, now you're in a really, really dangerous position. If this guy responded really quickly to get to this bunker and you're here and he's here, he's got an easy way to bully you or run you down and still survive. So I think that that's why you would go to this bunker, but don't go there off the break. I think this bunker's fine to go to. It's just, again, I feel like this is the gap that your chances of dying if you're trying to go in the snake exists. And so if you cross this line, then you could have just gone here anyway, probably. But I'm sure there's a shot that will exist that people will find in the tournament where it's like, oh no, actually from here to here is really dangerous. So you got to be careful about that. Okay, so then I don't think you double stack the home from the snake side. Well, you could do these 2 dead zones. So you could send Guy here and a guy here and a guy here. And then I think you could do that. Wait, what was that shot again? Yeah, that's this right here. Man, you know what I think you do? Sorry, give me just a second. Dude, I think this is Operation Kill the Dorito. I think this tournament is Operation Kill the Dorito. I think that's who you're trying to kill. If you kill the Dorito, it gives your snake side the push into theirs. I think that's what you do. Because, like, I mean, I'm not saying you should do this necessarily, but you can get 4 guns up off the break on this layout pretty easily if people aren't pressuring you in these dead zones. And I think that this shot right here is really good. I think this out the run shot is really good to try and bingo their number 2 behind him. And then I think if you want to like double bingo the front guy, so you've only got 2 people doing one job and you got this other guy shooting the number 2. If you get kill 2 on the Doritos, that's a free win right there. If your front guy survives, even if your front guy dies, but you leapfrog, you go to here and then get into the snake right away, it's going to be hard for this guy to break out and respond. So to me personally, I think you guys should be thinking about how is it that we can kill the Doritos, and then just be very wary of like, all right, we're killing them, but we're still losing because they're getting into the snake and we don't have a response to that. Then that's when I think you have to go up the center more, because that's really the only ways that you can stop this. You can kill this guy and kill this guy. But like, there's just not a lot of cross shots at all, in fact. So like, if I were to play the number 2 on the snake side, I don't have anything cross really except for this gap. This is the only gap I have, and this is a bad gap. I mean, it's not a bad gap. That's a hard gap. That's a hard gap to shoot. So that's your only shot. And in fact, maybe that's what you do. Actually, here's a breakout for you. So I think what you do is you come out here. You can shoot this gap. I'm not sure I'm going to line it up exactly right, but you shoot this gap. This guy shoots for the Dorito runner, wherever that is. And then this guy shoots for the Dorito runner. And I think you put 2 guns on the Dorito side all tournament. All tournament, no matter what. Those are your 3 guaranteed guns up. If you have to, if this guy's not really killing the snake dude, then he can just go heads up. And then this guy can try to get out here quicker to shoot this. But if you guys remember, if we want to kill the snake guy, this is the best shot. Floating out in this dead zone is the best shot to kill the snake guy. I think if you float, you probably should be more inclined to go to here or here off the break, like your number 1 should, and then that will free up you to go here. So I probably, I said earlier, like, you could probably float out here and then send a guy here. I think you can. I just think this is a really hard situation this will be a really hard situation for a lot of teams. That's a pretty like high IQ read and react. So super risky to bump out after that, and then to go up here, you might just get trapped in this because, like, look, you don't have any presence right here. Okay. So I think that's the breakout, man. I think you send a guy. I think the snake side is really only concerned, like the number 1 in the snake is really these 2 bunkers. You obviously have the option of pulling up here and doing the same thing where like this guy floats out in the dead zone, but I think that's even worse. No, that's not worse. Just kidding. If you're getting killed in this gap right here, because we established this is the scariest part, I think you can send your front Dorito guy here, or excuse me, your front snake guy, and then your number 2 can float in this gap, or even just run up here straight and then try to win out here. And then this guy just has to be very good at fighting out, because again, if this is as wide as we are on the field, then we're conceding a lot of ground that we have to like fight for quickly. So I don't think that's your default. I think your default is always going to be coming here or here. So let me mark them. So I think the number 2 is here. Oh, excuse me. Here's the number 2 gap. Here's the number 1. I'll just write a 1, 2. I think this is the 3, except don't go there. This is the 3. I think this is the 2 on the Dorito side. And I mean, you could include the can, but I think that's the Dorito. Sorry, it kind of looks like a penis. There you go. I think these 2 bunkers are react bunkers. This bunker you're trying to launch here. Okay. There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave that up for a second. I'm going to drink some water. Take a second. 53 of y'all are real quiet right now. Okay. Let's change the music. Let's go over to the predictions. Predictions part of the let's see. I'm not sure this is the music for this, but nah, that's not it. That's not it. Maybe it's this one. Maybe. Okay, this will be fine. I agree with what I looked at. It's happening this weekend, right? Yep, it's happening tomorrow. Gotta love playing this weekend. Going to love playing this weekend. Yeah, Nick, hey, if you're in the Discord server, let us know how you do, okay? If you're not in the Discord server, you're wrong. So stop being wrong. Get in there. Sweet. Okay, I'll leave that up. Let's I don't know who the semi-pro teams are that are playing. So I'm realizing that there's only so much I can do about these two games. So we're going to go past that. But if you guys want access to this, oh, did it work? Man, my chat bots are not working. I'm pretty sure I spelled it right, and I have the command active. The link to this document that I'm looking at is in the Discord server. You're welcome to create your own. Like, you can open it up and copy and paste it to your own Google Drive and make your own predictions. This is I'm pretty proud of this document. So we're gonna go through this kind of quickly so we can get to the tournament portion of it, and then hopefully we can finish this in 40 minutes because that's as much time as we got left. Oh, I'm in there. Sick. I think I'm gonna wait. I think getting in that snake isn't that useful unless you blow open their D side. Agreed with you. I think you need a body in there, but I do agree with you. I do agree with you. The shorter snake is super interesting. Can't wait to see how it plays out. Yeah, me too. I'm super excited. Okay, Hurricanes versus Extreme. You know, I actually think that the teams that Extreme beats are the ones that are really susceptible to their smack talk. And by the way, Harris Hussein, I've completely 180'd on my opinion of him. I think Harris Hussein is so good for paintball. I used to have I mean, I think he's gotten a little less toxic and a little more funny to me. I don't know if it's because he actually has, but whatever. But I think Extreme's big skill expression comes in their ability to like get in their opponent's heads. And I don't think that Hurricanes are a team that are very susceptible to that, in my experience and just observing them. So I think this is actually going to be a pretty fair match because it'll just be completely concerned with skill. I think Extreme's a good team. I think Hurricanes are a really good team. I actually think Hurricanes are going to win this game. I think Hurricanes are going to win this game mostly because I think Mike Bianca is an incredible coach who has the ability to like come up with game plans that just like absolutely counter people. The question is, how many points are they going to give up? I'm going to say 5-3 for this first series. LVL, dude. LVL is going to blow everybody open. Blow everybody out of the water, man. LVL is playing super hot right now. And ML Kings have been really surprising lately as well. By the way, you guys are welcome to tell me what you think I might ask you in some of these instances. You're welcome to disagree with me as well. The chat gets really involved typically when we get to the actual tournament Sunday. So we'll take a look at that here in a second. Okay, Houston Heat versus ML Kings. Houston Heat on paper is like one of the best teams that are out there, but they haven't been playing very well, and actually especially against some of these like lower seeded pro teams. So I would suspect that these guys beat ML Kings, but only barely. I think they beat them 5-4 is kind of my assumption. I think, am I going to have LVL 4-0 with mercy rules? LVL is like turned around in my opinion. So let's see. I think they're going to go. I think Kings are going to come out swinging this event. I think they're going to play well, probably because there's a lot. I think there's a little less pressure since there's not the entire pro line here. I don't know why, but I think that they will. I think they'll surprise us. So I'm going to say 6-2, mostly because these teams don't ever play each other, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Houston Heat versus Hurricanes. This is going to be a tough one. This could go either way. I think the Hurricanes could beat Heat if they keep momentum early. If they gain an early lead and keep momentum, I think they win. The problem is that like beating Tyler Harmon or Chad George or anybody in like a low body situation is going to be very, very hard for the Hurricanes, with just as much experience as they've got. So to be honest, I think Heat's going to score 6-3, 6-4, 6-3, 6. I'm going to say 6-3. I'm going to say 6-3. Dude, he's such a character. Agree on that. Just a hunch with ML Kings, or have you seen anything specific? It's honestly just how I've seen them. I've seen them playing recently, like at tournaments and stuff. ML Kings are like, they've gotten a lot better. I don't know what it is, but their lineup is getting really cohesive now. I think they've worked out a lot of the kinks. So if those guys can stay like in a mentally good position, I think they'll do well. It's not coming from anything other than that. Just a hunch. Diesel versus X Factor. It's hard to say that X Factor will ever lose. And I always, as you guys have seen me do these, I always root for Diesel to win every game they play. But they have been disappointing me recently. I had them winning. I had them doing a lot better than they did in the Sunshine State Major, and I had them doing a lot better at World Cup than they did. Right? Because they made it to Sunday, but they got knocked out first round, right? Is that correct? And X Factor is just such a good squad, dude. They're so good. So that's like, they're really, really hard to beat. I think X Factor is going to beat these guys 6-2. I think 6-2 is pretty fair. Maybe. No, these guys play each other all the time, though. These guys play each other all the time. The 6-4. I'm saying 6-4. I feel good about that. Iron Man versus Energy Elite. Iron Man's got a long ways to go with their brand new roster that's got a lot of work ahead of them. With their, a lot of their roster changes and stuff. I think they've got a lot of new... They do, not I think. They do have a lot of new players to the organization and not a lot of new players playing pro. So I think Energy Elite's going to just go to town, to be honest. I love Kaito. Kaito? I forget how to say his name. And I love the organization. I just think that it's going to be very hard for them. I think this will be a learning experience. Damage versus Infamous. This is a sludge fest, or slugfest. What do you guys think? What do you guys think between Damage and Infamous? And also, what do you think between Impact and Revo? Because I feel like I'm good on the rest of them, but between Damage and Infamous, who do you guys think's got it, and who do you think's gonna between Impact? Excuse me, yeah, Impact and Revo. I'm gonna skip that for now. Do you think Infamous is winning? Okay. Is there a point spread you want to give me? Dynasty versus X Factor. I'm going to say Dynasty's been playing really, really well. I always lowball Dynasty, and they always play way better than I expect, which I feel bad about. Dude, Dynasty's doing really, really well. Revo just picked up Hoag. I don't know how to say his name. Zach from whatchamacallit, last camp. I'm excited to see if he gets some points. I think Dynasty beats X Factor 6-4, if not 6-2. But Infamous 6-2, man. I know that a lot of people are split between Damage and Infamous, so I want to say Infamous barely. You're gonna have Damage beat. So Damage beat Infamous, Revo beats Impact. Wait, where's Tonlo? Is that Tonlo who's saying that? No, that's Nick. Okay. But I've been pessimistic about Damage lately. Skull Squad gonna bring the pain. Probably 5-3 Infamous. Interesting. I think that's okay. I just feel like Damage is on the disappointment train right now. 6-2 Infamous. Damage is gonna get it by 1. Will says. I think the whole thing really plays to Dynasty's strengths. Yeah, dude, I think this is Dynasty's layout. I think Dynasty is gonna crush this layout. Okay, so I think I agree with you. I think Infamous is gonna beat Damage. I'm gonna give him 5 points. I think it's gonna be a solid game. I think it's gonna be a really good game, but I think it's gonna be 5-4 is my guess. I don't think Damage puts anything less than 3, to be honest. Got picked up by which team? He got picked up by Revo. Welcome, Porter. Yeah, he got picked up by Revo. Good for him, too. I'm excited to see him play. Impact versus Revo. I want Revo to win. I want Revo to win this game. So what do I think is a fair number? And I think Alex Goldman is going to have to play somewhere other than the Snake. But maybe not. Oh, wait. Goldman's not playing for Impact. What am I saying? I want Revo to win. But how much? Five? What's the fair number? 5-4? Impact is a good squad, dude. Impact is a really, really good squad. Damage 6-3 over Infamous. So we got... It's all... Dude, Damage and Infamous has some passionate people. Damage biggest strength is Snake, really? That's true. Well, I think Damage is a really good squad. They're a very senior... They're a very, like, tenured squad. They've got a ton of experience. But I think they have a lot of experience and very... I think a lot of their experience... Well, it does. Comes from, like, traditional... Not traditional, but, like... It's rooted in a lot of really good core paintball. Like, they're really good at core paintball, and they're really good at turning up they're really good at shifting momentum and utilizing momentum. I'm curious to see how they'll do with a layout that's like very unconventional. But again, like, they're a really good squad. I think that Infamous Damage game could go either way. I'm just giving it to Infamous right now. They aren't very dynamic compared to someone like Frey. Could be. Yeah, but the Edward boys and the Doritos can be scary. Yeah, I agree. Haven't been lately. Interesting. Okay, well, let's move on. Aftermath versus Ironman. I think Aftermath wins this. I think Aftermath wins this pretty handedly. Damage versus Diesel. I think Damage takes this. I think Damage wins this. I think Damage wins this 7-1. Yeah, I think Diesel's gonna have a hard time with this layout. I don't know why, but I feel like they might. So I think they might make the mistake of trying to plug the hole instead of flipping the field. And if they do, I think they're going to struggle really, really bad. Impact versus Energy Elite. Energy's been playing really well lately. But I got to give it to Impact. I think Impact is going to win. It could be a close game, though. I think early in the tournament, I suspect games will be super big blowouts by the teams that you would expect to blow other teams out. And then another way is like not so obvious. I think it's going to be really close games because people are going to try and suss each other out. Dynasty versus Infamous. Dude, Dynasty's so freaking good. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think Infamous can get more than 4 points for sure. I think Dynasty wins that one, though. Aftermath versus Revo. This is going to be a hard game. That's going to be a good game to watch. They got the Edward brothers. Yeah, Damage greater than Diesel handedly. Clint's back, I think. Oh, is he? Did Clint not play the first event this year? Dynasty going to roll this tournament. I agree. Dynasty's going to do really well. Aftermath versus Revo. I think I'm going to say Aftermath, dude. Aftermath is looking really good. They're a top 4 team right now. I'm going to give 6-4. 6-4 to... Okay. ML Kings versus Extreme, dude. The Beef Wars. This, I have no idea. I'm going to have you guys give me what you think. ML Kings between New York Extreme. This quite literally could go in either direction, in my opinion. So unless somebody's got some insider information or has a really strong opinion one way or the other, please let me know. LVL versus Hurricanes. These teams, I don't think these guys have played against each other yet. Did they play against each other at... No. They didn't play each other in the last event. So this will be a new experience for both teams. Aftermath 5, Revo 2. Really? I could see it. Dynasty Infamous going to end in a 1v1. It could very well. What happened to Latin Saints this weekend? I'm not sure. Are we missing one other pro team too? Or is it just... No, it's just Latin Saints. Yeah, I have no idea. No, we've got to be missing one other pro team, right? Yeah, we're actually missing 4 pro teams because there was another group. And for some reason, I can't think of who. Or maybe I'm going crazy. They somehow go 8-8. ML Kings 5, New York Extreme 4. I could see that. I think the point spread's going to be close. Let's talk about Paintball had the scoop, but Saints dropped out. Oh, really? I'm going to give it to ML Kings. Oof. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't really think Extreme is gonna do this poorly, but by the looks of it, it looks like they are. LVL versus Hurricanes. I think this is a high scoring game for both teams. I think it ends in 6-4. in favor of LVL. Heat versus Extreme. This is one that, because these guys just don't play each other, it's possible for Heat to lose the momentum here. We could do something that has literally zero consequence. We could say that New York Extreme wins 5 over Heat's 4. And that would have pretty much zero consequence, I think, to the point spread. You think ML Kings is going to win by a bit? Oh, Seattle. That's right. The Seattle Bears. The Thunder Bears. They're not here as well. Supposedly, Brandon Short was supposed to have his baby. Also, Diego, the owner, was injured. Oh, Russia. That's right. Latin Saints taking a break. Okay. Saints dropped out and are playing the Sac Minor because B Short had his twins. And Gaeo, I don't know how to say that, had an accident. Ooh, that's not good. DMG Uprising. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Why isn't DMG playing? Are they reffing? No, they wouldn't be reffing. What, that's not, I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, LVL versus Heat. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a really good game. And in fact, I want LVL to win this game. And I'm going to say that LVL is going to win this game. But not by a lot. I think they're going to win 5-4. Can really Heat only get 3? I think they win 5-4. I think there'll be long points. I think these teams will play really, really slow against each other. Oh, the other Seattle team, though. Okay. ML Kings versus Hurricanes. I think Hurricanes have a pretty good shot at winning this. Hurricanes play such methodical paintball. I think the reason they lose to LVL is because of skill and experience. And I think that they could easily lose to ML Kings for that very same reason. But like, for example, I think Seattle Uprising, maybe on an individual level, like per player, maybe they were better than Hurricanes, but Hurricanes has a much better, well, I can't say much. I think Hurricanes has a lot more coaching support on their side than ML Kings does, but I could be wrong. And I think that really makes a difference. So I think if ML Kings doesn't come out with really strong, methodical, like if A then B paintball, I think they'll lose to Hurricanes. And in which case, oh, hello. I think Hurricanes wins 6-2. I'm going to say that's a bold claim. Let's go through these kind of quickly. Infamous versus Diesel. I think Infamous wins. I think they beat Diesel 7-1. Revo versus Energy. This is a tough one. I really like Revo. I want Revo to do well. Energy's a really good squad. I think we'll see a 6-4 game in favor of Revo, but I'm not super confident in that one. Impact. I think Impact probably Mercy rules. Is Mercy rule 7 or is it 6 in Pro? What is it? I think Russians got stuck by Putin. Could be. Only have to play one minor. They may think skipping this one to play against fewer pros gives them a better chance to get into Champs Cup or whatever. Oh, weird. It's 6. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's 6. I think they mercy roll. Damage versus X Factor. This is going to be a tough game. I think Damage wins. I think Damage wins this one. I don't know why. I think Zach Yekimek could really mess things up the center. So that could be the reason that they actually don't win this. But I think we'll see a high scoring game, and I think their traditional wrap and go is what could lead to Damage's victory. But otherwise, Zach Yekimek up the center is going to mess things up for sure. Dynasty versus Diesel. Dude, am I really having these guys getting mercied? For some reason, these teams don't match up against each other very well. I don't feel like they do. Aftermath versus Energy Elite. I think this is going to be a good game for Aftermath. No, not 1. I think they're going to probably score 2 points, maybe more. Probably more. I think they'll score 3, maybe 4. Yeah, what am I doing? Energy Elite's a really good squad. I think they could easily go in the opposite direction for a lot of these. Infamous versus X Factor. I think, again, Zach Yekimek is going to... this is going to be a really fun game to watch. This is in my opinion, two like very different styles of paintball. I think X Factor wins this barely, but I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Ironman versus Revo. I think Ironman are going to struggle, to be honest with you. I think they are. Um, maybe not 6. Dynasty versus damage. Sorry, I gotta read. 6. Remember to fix LVL versus extreme to 6L. Wait, where? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for catching that. Damage losing. Well, they're 2-1 right now. Old X Factor would have smacked damage, but now it's yeah, I don't know why. I say X Factor. Hey, Derek Dumoulin and Tate, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this could go either way. I think X Factor is going to do well though in this match. I think if the center plays, I think we're going to see a lot of creative things at the center. Dynasty versus damage. This is a tough one, dude. It feels like Dynasty always has damage's number though, to be honest. But I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I think Dynasty barely wins. Aftermath versus Impact. You can never count Impact out, to be honest. Can never. Okay, so we have our scores. Wow, some of these are like super stacked. Some of these are really stacked. Okay. I say X Factor beats damage. Wait. Oh yeah. Oh, you think X Factor beats damage here? I think it could go either way. You're probably right. Dynasty Mercy's damage. You think so? I mean, you could be right. You could be right. As a damage and Dynasty fan, I have a lot of inner turmoil. I know, that's the thing. I'm having inner turmoil as well. Impact 5, Aftermath 3. Oh, hey. Wait, are you agreeing with me? Because that's awesome. Okay, let's look at this. So scores are locked in. I don't know how much of a point spread I mean, some of these are going to change from losses to wins if not. So Columbus LVL I think is going to be first seed, which would be sick. No, I mean, dude, I've been so wrong about these lately. So I think Dynasty could easily be first seed as well. But I just been very surprised at how well LVL's been playing. So I feel like I want to do something different. I want to give them a high seed going into Tournament Sunday. So we've got first, second, and third. Fourth seed is going to come from, it looks like, damage. Right? Yeah. Fifth seed. I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm doing this wrong. Fifth seed comes from here. I think they're only taking top 6. I don't think there's because we don't have nearly as many teams. We don't have any wild cards, I don't think. So I think they're only taking top 6, but I could be totally wrong here. I have no idea. So if somebody does know, you could let me know. Because like I said, I don't. Is that really what it is? So Hurricanes. So New York Extreme goes 1-3. Hurricanes goes 2-2, which I think is very possible. ML Kings goes 1-3. Probably could go 2-2 just as easily. This negative 1 point margin could be a difference for them. Heat goes 2-2. Okay. These guys go 4-0. X Factor goes 3-1. Diesel goes 4-0-4. Infamous goes 2-2. So they wouldn't make it if that was the case. I wonder if they're going to have wild cards. Damage goes 2-2. Dynasty goes 4-0. Aftermath goes 2-2. This is 2-2 for Impact, but don't make it. Wow, because yeah, that Mercy rule would kill them. Or like that -6. Revo goes 3-1 and makes it. Energy Elite goes 1-3, and Ironman goes 0-4. I think these are fair. I think that's pretty fair. I think there's a couple that I could like see go in the opposite direction. I think it's very possible for X Factor to not make it to Sunday. But we'll see. Yes, boss. Slow typer here. No problem. Aftermath 4, Impact 3. Aftermath 4, Impact 3, huh? So that would, I mean, Impact isn't making it either way, but Aftermath is making it. So I would just change seeding. Can we peek at your food recipes folder after stream? Pretty safe picks. I'm pretty sure my food recipes stuff is just like Instant Pot things. Yeah. Yeah, they're just Instant Pot recipes. There was a time when right after we got our Instant Pot. we were looking for recipes. This one's really good, by the way. That's funny. Okay, so let's go into the tournament now. So we've got LVL going into first seed. Oh, shoot. My bracket's messed up. Huh. I'm not sure what to do about that, actually. We'll have to come back to that. Let me just put these people where they should be. So fourth goes here. Fifth. Oh, hell yeah, comfort food. Fifth is Revo. Sixth is Heat. Wait, who's second? Dynasty. So I have a problem because I don't know if they're doing wild cards. Because that feels like a lot, right? If we take wild cards, we have to take 4 teams, which means only 2 teams don't make it into Sunday, right? Wait, 1, 2. No, that 4 teams don't make it to Sunday. I don't know. That feels like a lot. We could do this. We could do this. It would just be this. First, 6th, second, 5th, and then 3rd, 4th. That's how it would be. That doesn't feel right. That's not right. There has to be another team. There has to be one more. So we need a 7th, 8th. That means they're only going to take 2 more teams. So these would be the wild cards, but they're not considered play-ins. That seems not right. This is tough. I'm going to make an assumption, guys. Don't kill me for it. So here's how it works. I'm not like an expert when it comes to making brackets. I know a fair amount, but I'm not an expert. So here's the problem right now. Traditionally speaking, NXL has always had wild cards that play into the tournament, as you guys know, which is 4 wild cards. Okay, then whoever those wild cards would be, those guys would end up playing. Let me just back up here real quick. So that wild card, one of them would play in to fight the first seed, and the other one would play in to fight the second seed. The problem with that is that I don't feel like I can make that assumption because, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6th seed. So the problem is that with missing 4 teams, I don't really think they would do that. It's very possible that they would take the top 2 from every group and make that the tournament, and then the 7th and 8th seed would play each other to then play into the tournament, and they would play this guy, and that could work. Could it? If we have these 2 playing. So no, that's not who they'd play. They'd play this. These guys would play in. No, see, we're still lopsided. We have to have one more. It doesn't work. I wonder, so it must be that semi-pros. It must be the semi-pros then that are throwing the wrench in this. It's got to be it, because I haven't accounted for the semi-pro bracket. So how about we unhide this? Because that's the thing. The semi-pros weren't listed in the groups, so I don't know where they fit into any of this. So it's very possible that the semi-pros play into the tournament. So okay, let's just try to press forward and see how we can make this work. Because I don't want to get super hung up on like these details. We got to end the stream here pretty soon. So Aftermath goes here. 4th seed damage goes here. 5th seed Revo goes here. 6th seed Houston Heat goes right. Yeah, Houston Heat goes here. Or you know what? I'm actually. It could just easily do this. Let's just pretend that it does this. I don't know why I'm getting so hung up on this. It could just as easily do that. Excuse me. There we go. That's probably how it would have to be. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to hiding these. This music is really intense for what's going on right now. Clear borders. I think we figured it out, but I don't know why that took me so long. Okay. So now with that out of the way, oops. Clear borders, fill all around. Okay. We all happy? We all healthy, fine with this? Pretty safe picks. I think so too, T-Box. 10 teams advance top 2 per bracket with 2 wild cards. Oh, top 10 teams advance. That's interesting. That's like almost everybody, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. We'd lose 4 teams. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd lose 5 teams. You know what, guys? It's probably not how it's going to go. But you know what? We're going to pretend that this is how it's going to go. And I will update my predictions right when I find out. When I find out, because again, these semi-pros play a big factor in it too. They might play into the tournament. I have no idea. They might, because I can't imagine they're just show matches, right? They have to do something. So I'm sure that we'll find out, or it's just part of the broadcast. Who knows? But there's only 15 teams. That's what the APPA says. Really? 10 teams advance? I can't. Yeah, it'd have to be top 8. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I can't imagine that it's that. Here's what it is, guys. We're gonna find out tomorrow when the tournament happens. I'm just gonna pretend that this is what the bracket looks like, because there's no way for me to even make predictions on semi-pro teams who I don't even know are playing. But if these guys are playing in the open portion of this tournament, I don't know who they are, so the bracket's kind of messed up anyway. So we're just going to pretend that this is what it is. I will update my predictions once I have the semi-pro teams available. But it's probably going to be some form of this, some version of this or another. But again, I don't know. Or maybe the semi-pros don't play. Maybe they don't even play against the pros. I don't know, because this is an open tournament, and I don't know what they're doing this time. So who knows? Tomorrow we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Aftermath versus Revo. What do you guys think? Give me your votes on Aftermath versus Revo. Sometime in the future, I'll have the ability to pull the stream so you guys can figure out, or you guys can give me your predictions there. I don't have the ability to poll, I don't think. Yeah, I don't have the poll function. Nope. So, what do you guys think? Let's see if we can come up with a prediction of who's going to win. Aftermath versus Revo. Aftermath 5, Revo 2. Ooh, that's strong. Anybody say otherwise? And then give me your predictions for damage versus heat. Aftermath. Where's my water? Schedule's up on APPA. Yeah, that's where this came from, by the way. This whole thing came from the schedule. Unless you're talking about like the specific teams. Revo. We got 2 for Revo, 3 for Aftermath, 4 for Aftermath. Oh, man. Got Heat winning this next one. Damage over Heat so that they can go on to lose to Dynasty. Yeah, really, that's kind of what it comes down to. Damage 6, Heat 2. Wow. Really? We got 2 people in favor of damage right now. We got Joe in favor of Heat. I'm going to say... Yeah, damage 6, heat 2. I'm not so sure about that one. I don't think heat on Sunday does that poorly. Heat 6, damage 2. Oh my gosh, damage 6, 5. Wow. Ollie Lang wins it all by himself. Dude, Ollie Lang's winning wherever he's at in the world. Okay. I think I'm gonna give this to damage. I think damage versus heat is a close game. I think so too. I think this definitely goes into overtime, and I think damage beats heat 6-5. Heat will put up a fight, but probably not enough of one. Heat is gonna soak so much rain. Overtime, baby. Yeah, I think this goes into overtime. Okay, so then that means we've got Aftermath moving on, and then we've got damage moving on. Okay, first one. Who do you think's gonna win Aftermath versus LVL and Damage versus Dynasty. I don't think there's anybody here who probably thinks Damage is going to be Dynasty. I think Damage starts strong, Heat pulls close, and Damage just barely holds on. I agree. I completely agree with you. Dynasty 7-3. Okay. Porter says 7-3 Dynasty. We need to change music. Getting bored of this. Where is it? Sorry, guys. One sec. Oh, we're gonna changing things up. I think Damage starts bad, doesn't make Sunday. Really? Jordan, do you just hate Damage? OT Dynasty, really? Dynasty with a good spread, maybe like 5-2. I think Dynasty. So is this Dynasty with or without Ollie? Well, Dynasty Ollie's not playing tomorrow, right? Dynasty, Mercy. Ooh. LVL is looking better. They are. How many screens you got, man? I just saw you look at the ceiling. So I've got a screen here. I've got a screen there. Hold on. I've got a screen here. You can't really see. Actually, here, I'll give you a treat, okay? Sorry, don't judge me for my room. I've got a screen here. I've got a screen here. And I've got a screen here. I got quite a bit. Oh, wait, wrong one. I got quite a bit going on. I think Damage has bad coaching. How many screens you got? Okay, I read that one. LVL 7-2. Man. LVL 7-2. I don't think they'll 7-2. I think they'll 7-4. Will they 7-4 though? I don't know. I'll give him 6, and I think they'll go over Aftermath 6-4. That's my prediction. Man, you guys are making me crazy. This is quite a prediction here. If I have Dynasty, this is what sucks, is that if I have Dynasty beating Damage, it's literally first seed versus second seed. And how boring. That's so boring. Those look like nice monitors. They're all really nice. These are a bit older. The one straight in front of me is my newest one. It's a 240 Hz monitor. 6 setup. That transition was legit. Thanks, buddy. You gotta go blind, bro. You gonna go blind. Nah, I do pretty well with color balancing and stuff. LVL Aftermath is going to be a head-to-head match, if anything. I agree. I don't think it's going to be super big. I don't think it's going to be a super big spread, but I do think LVL's chance of winning that series is pretty good right now. I'm going to say that Dynasty beats Damage in a very boring and predictable way. So I'm going to say that Dynasty beats Damage probably 7-5. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. All right. Here is for third, fourth, Damage versus Aftermath. Don't give me your predictions for LVL versus Dynasty yet. Give me your predictions for Aftermath versus Damage first, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do LVL versus Dynasty, and then we'll be done. Pretty crazy layout for sure. That's the thing. Like, I think both LVL and Dynasty have a really good chance because this layout is crazy. So to me, I think that, and who knows, maybe we'll find that X Factor, or rather, New York Extreme, just absolutely slaughters everybody on this layout because it's super crazy. The thing is, it's not traditional, so I feel like it's gonna, it's paintball. Anything can happen. So Aftermath 6, Damage 3. That high scoring for Dynasty versus Damage. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I should drop this down. I should say 5-3. That's what I should say. I mean, this point spread, I actually don't normally do point spreads when it comes to the bracket because it doesn't matter. It's just win or lose, right? So I don't normally do point spreads. I don't know why I did, but I forgot. Damage over Dynasty, like 6-2. Damage over Dynasty, 6-2? Really? Oh, wait. I'm reading that wrong. Damage over Aftermath, 6-2. Okay. Aftermath, 6-3. Wait, so we've got a 6. Oops. We've got a 6-2 in favor of Aftermath, or 6-3 in favor of Aftermath, and damage 6-2. Oh, just punched my monitor. See, I think that makes damage worse off. Aftermath. Agreed. Aftermath by a sliver. By a sliver. So we'll say, just for the sake of margin. Interesting. Okay. So it's a toss-up. All right. The only way to settle toss-ups, random coin flip, baby. We're randomly coin flipping. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. I gotta decide who's who. Okay. Heads is aftermath. Tails is damage. So here we go. We're gonna flip again. Heads is aftermath. Tails is damage. It's heads, baby. Aftermath wins. Beats. Aftermath takes third. Damage takes fourth. Point spread doesn't really matter, but we'll say it's a 5-3. Dynasty versus LVL. Tell me what you think. What does everybody think? Time to fight the rest of chat. Okay, last one, last prediction. I'll tell you who I think's gonna win, but I need you guys to tell me first. Heads, baby. Aftermath wins third place. So tell me what you guys think for this next one, for Aftermath versus LVL versus Dynasty, and then we'll be done. Dynasty, baby, Dynasty. 7-2 Dynasty. Oh my gosh. Wow. 4-3. 7-2. Dynasty 5, LVL 3. So nothing lower than 4 points right now. And a mostly boring finals with sparks of excitement. I agree, actually. Yeah, I agree with that. Dynasty. Yeah, I think the fact that we don't have teams like Thunder, DMG, Uprising, and it's Latin Saints and Russian Legion, I think that kind of makes things, especially Russian Legion, I think that makes things a little weird. Dynasty, Frege for the win. Dynasty 6, LVL 3. All right. All right. You guys win. Dynasty wins. Dynasty takes it all. We're going to say Dynasty wins 6-3 against LVL for the tournament. For the tournament win, baby. Congrats to Dynasty. It's as if you've won already, at least according to our chat. So well done. Okay. I've spoken enough. That is my prediction. Again, if you guys want to get access to this document, make your own predictions. Obviously, this will be updated tomorrow. But if you want to make your own predictions, go to the Discord server, download the link, or rather open this document up, create your own, and then share it in the chat. I'm sure other people would like to see it. I think that'd be fun. I will be on tomorrow. I will probably have the stream going on Discord. But whether or not I share my screen, I can't say. It's probably not in my... I'm not in liberty to say. But be sure to join the Discord server. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for supporting the stream. Thanks to everybody who became a supporter of the stream. If you guys like the content, always feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're watching this on YouTube, consider becoming a member. It helps me out a lot. It also will help me travel a lot more this year to events. I plan to go to World Cup regardless of if I play, but I might coach a team. We'll see. I'm not sure what the plan is just yet. I might also play, so who knows. But thanks, guys, so much. I will talk to you all later. GG's. Fun stream as always. Thank you. This is literally more fun than watching it will be. Thank you, SVP. You're the man. Good stuff. Thanks, bro. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully see you in the Discord. Peace.